Dear gamer, this is an important message from your game master or another player in your tabletop role-playing game group. Know that this lesson applies to everyone who plays TTRPGs, and so this may only be a friendly reminder. But hear this. Be direct. For we have limited time, dear gamer. Our precious moments on this earth are ticking away, most gobbled up by sleep and labor. So with what little time we have to play, we must play to the fullest. Every session of a tabletop role-playing game must be spent laughing, discovering, imagining, relaxing, or feeling tense but in a fun way, like watching a horror movie that's a little too gross or too creepy, and dramatically portraying our characters in conversation and combat. What we cannot do, what we must not do with our precious little playtime, is spend it prefacing every little idea, couching our language and plans in a package that we hope our GM may approve, possibly without even understanding what they are actually about to approve. No, that's weird. We must reveal everything. Do not lead with, "What is the door made of?" Simply state that you wish to bust down the door if feasible. Do not lead with, "Is this dead skeleton technically a creature or an object?" Simply state that you wish to make it fly so it appears to animate and might scare those other monsters down the hall. We must not lead with, "How strong is my rope?" Just say we want to tie the rope around the leg of the ogre and try our best to pull it down like an AT-AT walker in Star Wars. Dear gamer, I know there are GMs out there who wish to spoil every good and fun creative plan. And more than that, I know there are teachers, coaches, bosses, and other figures of authority in our lives who, over the course of your life, could have pushed you into a pattern of behavior and communication where you feel that you must cautiously construct each statement into a hopefully acceptable notion. Trust me, you have no idea how much time I spend thinking about what I'm going to say before I make almost any phone call. But I do not, and we must not, bring that hesitation to the game table. RPGs are for having fun and for making fun of our own imaginative and cool ideas. So be direct, because the faster you can state your end goal in a clear and understandable way, the faster a good GM can help you achieve that goal. Or at least help you turn that imaginative plan into something that achieves a similar goal and ideally gives your whole group a chance to weigh in, yay or nay, before you alone decide to tie the rope around the so far non-hostile ogre. So yeah, this part's for you, dear Game Master. Thought you were getting off scot-free, just enjoying a jab at the players? Not today. If you're the kind of GM who's out there squashing otherwise fun and creative plans because technically this, or actually that behavior is the flip side of this time-wasting problem. Of course, it's more than fine to reject a player's idea when it is totally outlandish, totally wrong for the agreed-upon setting or tone or anything else that the group has established. But we should all be able to agree that saying no never moves the game forward. If you are such a cautious GM, rejecting or changing more ideas than you approve because you are worried about pruning the perfect game experience, then truly, you are no longer pruning the game, you are stunting the growth that can only be achieved when the players get to enjoy the fruits of their creative plans. Now that's a metaphor. Okay, and quick nature break. Here's like the whole, well, parts of the hips of a deer, I believe, found in the snow. So whether you are seeking that perfection in the written rules or real-world logic or the strict parameters of your own setting or homebrew, every time you say no, flat out, the players must spend precious time coming up with a new idea. So think like a player. Realize that if their idea won't work or can't work within the confines of whatever rules, logic, or other parameters exist in your headcanon, it's likely that your headcanon was not clearly communicated. And only you can solve that problem by being direct. Perhaps even hinting towards a new idea that can achieve the same or a similar outcome to what the players had in mind, dice permitting. So remember this, dear gamer. Tabletop role-playing games, when played with a group, are far more a social experience than anything else. Communication is paramount. More important than knowing the rules, more important than consistency in rules, logic, setting, tone, and even more important than knowing what your players like and don't like. Because if you can communicate well, you can solve any and all of those problems in the moment just by talking about it. So hopefully, yes, everyone in your group is more or less on the same page, and that's why you choose to spend your limited playtime with those people. But we must all remember to respect each other's time. Oh yeah, especially because we can't play next week because Mark has that thing on the 14th, and you know what I mean. So unless you are role-playing a coy and crafty or a meek and cautious character or creature, do not be coy, crafty, meek, or cautious. Be direct so you have more time to actually play, and to check out this video on your screen about a D20 fantasy RPG that facilitates more game in less time. Thank you to my wonderful supporters on Patreon, without whom I could not do what I do and keep building.